Norway maple, beautiful colors. Just the root spread gets more and more beautiful for me. You can see the bark's starting to kind of flake, or it's just starting to grow in a different capacity there. That's just giving it some texture. And yeah, but I'm liking that one a lot. Here's a little, I don't even know if I've ever, I think maybe a long couple years ago I showed them this sort of planting. This is a, these are all subalpine firs. And you can see each one is very sort of unique, twisty and curvy. And, it's hard, I've been having trouble getting them to push in a bit, but let's see. Yeah, I really sort of like that. Too bad I didn't get this one a little earlier. But this is the trembling aspen forest that I planted. So it was just so beautiful though. Just, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Just the colors coming out. I had some nice darker lush green trees down there. Look at that beautiful color. It's funny, there's some red leaves in here from a different tree. There we go. That's just beautiful. I love this. So it's got this bulging, thick feet. So nice. You know, needs some work, but just transplanted it this spring. And the white container is great. Like, this is when it really just pops, right? Oh yeah. Here's the cedar from a hedge. You know, it's growing out tons. Just keeps growing out. So, you know, again, it's just gonna keep pushing back. But it's beautiful. It's full, right? There could be a little bit more something at the top. It's just these sort of spikes. You know, it needs to be rounded a little bit more, and it's pushed out a bit. And you know, maybe now it's ready instead of this sort of more bush. And you know, I keep pushing it back and growing it out, trying to get some more defined, flatter bottom pads in the spring. Couple little ones. Here's the Shimpaku juniper that I styled. This is not this summer, but the summer before. I think I styled it and gave it a trim. That's why it's in such a big. This is just a white plastic container. You can see, and I bent the front down, but this whole part died, and so you know, that could maybe be a gin at some point. Actually, I should bend that. I'm not going to want the gin pointing up like that. But yeah, you can see I'm getting some nice paths. You know, it's going to need a nice wire, unwire, and then wire again. Next spring, I've got a little bit of something tearing or something in there, but yeah, and this will probably just go too. Subalpine fir, looking beautiful. Yeah, it's gonna get a transplant also next year. I like this container a lot because it's got the layers, and so it makes this, and this big rim, and so it makes this band, it makes it look extra thin. But yeah, and this I think this whole branch needs to just go, right? This whole branch just needs to go, and that will move the direction this way. That one gone. And I got lots of back buds coming in. There's lots of little buds on these. Shooting out, so lots to work with. Here we are with a hemlock. It's been unwired, and so it's just, you know, just needs a wire. It needs to be brought, this all needs to be brought down. And then something, because this one just kind of, you know, hugs the horizontal line. So I don't know if this maybe needs to come down, you know, and this can come down. There can be these sort of double branches. It just needs a little work. And I got a little Buddha there. I did that out of took a mold of sand, pushed a Buddha, like a, you know, sculptured Buddha, into a sand, and then I just poured cement behind it. And what I love about it is that it's looking down. The figure's sort of looking down. And so there's this sort of quietness that happens. The Shimbaku juniper needs a bunch of work. Yeah, just needs a bunch of work. It's red, loving it. Red and the whiter trunk. It's just, oh, I just love it in my yard. It's so beautiful. Subalpine fir. Yeah, you know, the one thing about having it this way is this base. Like, what's going on there? I don't, you know, it's a bird, it's a, what do you call that? A pigeon breast right off. Doesn't draw you in at all. But this has been the side I've been looking at with this tree. But, you know, definitely needs a trim. I've been so hesitant on this one. This is one that I got early on. And it's just, you know, it's a bit bigger, and it's just, so I've like literally done like almost nothing to it. I've trimmed a bit off the top at one point, teeny little bit. Some of these longer ones, it needs some work. I need to get my big boy pants on and work on that. This little clump, Subalpine fir clump, and a crescent moon shape, and I got this ring underneath to kind of hold the crescent moon, because it really is it's just a bowl. I made that by putting it over a basketball, and that's why it's got such a smooth and cylindrical, what's the word, anyways, just totally round perfectly at the bottom. So it's kind of nice that way. It doesn't have like a different ovally shape, you know, it's just like a perfect circle. Did some trimming on this one, trimmed it back quite hard, just for the spring, and just to be able to see the trunk in there. It was getting all covered. A white pine, western white pine, you know, it's gonna just need a bunch of work. You can see the needles though are really, it's taking off, right? At one point it had these shorter needles. You know, and that would have been last year's growth, one more, and then this year's growth, it's huge. So I fertilized it a bunch, and it's obviously. So here's some of the trees. Fall, wet day, but on a couple days from now, 3 days, 4 days from now, we're getting a -8 centigrade. So pretty darn cold. I want to get these all off the benches, sort of on the ground. Haven't done a sort of a fall bench tour. I've got a few videos from earlier I'll post up with some color and stuff, but on a full one. So spruce, double spruce. It's work in progress. This is a fir, subalpine fir. That was a Doug fir previous. Subalpine fir, sort of a longer, more subtle design. Some nice colors of larch, spruce. It's a big bird's nest spruce that I had gotten from a nursery, and I've just been slowly working it down. Ended up getting it for free. The guy said it was dead, and I said transplant and brought it back to life, and you can see lots has died over the 4 years I've had it. The western white pine, real small. Doug fir back there. This is a Shimpaku juniper, but I need to cut this off. That's just brutally in your face. Anyways, and there's subalpine fir. Look at all these interior buds though. Look at all that. It's just buds, 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 buds. So lots of back budding, which is great, right? You see a little one there. A whole bunch on there. Juniper. This is a Doug fir. You can see it's really quite old with the bark, and it had been chopped. I want to say a beaver maybe got that at some point, but it might have been man-made. And anyway, so I've got to figure out what to do with this design. Obviously, it needs to be shrunk down a little bit. Yeah, bird's nest spruce. I think I was trying to kind of extend the design a bit. But you can see it's just way overgrown. So I think maybe next year it's, you know, bring it back, way back in as much as I can. And, you know, I mean, the thing with these bird's nest spruces, you've got bud, you know, all kinds of stuff back here. So shouldn't be too hard. Here's another spruce. Sort of a work in progress. I had cut it back quite hard. You can see it's regaining its life, which is nice to see all these little buds and stuff. So we'll see, but right now it's pretty sparse. Kind of pulled these two junipers up just to show you the color. Like, look at that blue. That's kind of cool in the fall colors. And there's another juniper. But yeah, it's time to overwinter these.